Amber, Smalltalk. Very easy to install. Just one line, and I already installed it, so it's already there. Now you just follow these instructions. You're almost done. Make a directory, enter it, Amber init with a project name. Then you take the defaults by hitting enter 13 times. And of course, if you want to, in the future, you can put whatever answers in there you want in a future project. You can change the config.js later. But just take the defaults. One last step, Amber serve, and it's running. Go to that URL that it gives you. It runs a little server for you. There are actually 2 IDEs built in, both of which are great Smalltalk. But Helios is the best. Legacy works well though. Application or library title is the default application title. So that's what we got. That's our class. Note that there's a test folder too. It's built in. Unit testing is first class. In our project is a method called augment page. And in there, there's a bunch of tags right there. Well, let's see what those are. View the source of the page and look, in that code, there are a bunch of buttons with exactly those tags. Soap tag, jQuery tag, and so on. So look up top. There are the buttons. Those are HTML buttons with tags, ID tags associated with them. And we're going to see what they do in a minute. Okay, then over there in the doSilk tag method, it's got this code. Paste that into the workspace and do it. And it adds that text to the DOM. In do jQuery append, there's similar code. And if you paste that into the workspace, it does something similar as well. That's what the buttons do. So what you just saw is the code that's in those methods was exactly what I ran in the workspace. So these tags are linked to those methods right here. Those methods output the stuff to the DOM. And what's output list? Let's take a look. There it is. It's an OL, ordered list. Let's take a look at this file. What if I'm going to add another button? Let's just change this tag to something else. Clearly, it doesn't matter what. Okay, the button is ready. I just changed that in the index.html. I copied the tag. Now I reloaded the page. Now in augment page, I'm going to add another one of these and change the tag right there. This is recording and I messed that up, so we'll fix it in a minute. The tag doesn't matter, so this is the method it's going to call. So we need to have a method called that. And now we do. Let's make it do something. Here we go. It's going to add this list element to the output list. Reload the page and see there's an error. But now we're in the legacy Smalltalk browser in the debugger. And I can see that I've mixed these up. Need to change this, fix it here, and save it. In my case, I need to reload it. There is a problem. Let's tell you what I mean. I hit save, but I didn't hit commit. So it didn't store it to disk. So we've just got to fix it, save it, and then commit it. There's a save, and then commit. Now when I reload, it worked. Now that there's a button here and it's connected to the methods, it works. ChatGPT helped me with this. I just paste it into the workspace. If I select it all and hit do it, it runs. If I just hit do it, it thinks I'm trying to do that one line. Just got to select it all and then hit do it. And it runs and makes a bouncing ball. It's actually smoother in person. It's perfectly smooth. Now let's change a little something here. Change dx from 2 to 3. It bounces in different patterns. See, it's not just going, well, diagonally, but you'll see. Now, if I switch it back and add another one, this new one is going just up in a diagonal pattern, but the other one where dx is 3 is going in a more interesting pattern. Okay, let's grab this whole part in the workspace now that works. And let's go add it to a class. We went to the class methods and make a new method. And let's effectively just paste this in here and give it a name. Let's call it any name at all. Save it. Now let's go back to the workspace and just type blue balls, any name at all, and run that or do it. It works. Let's commit the package so we save it for later. Now let's refactor that class method into instance methods. Now this took a while for me to nail down. So I did this earlier. I'm just going to paste these in. It took maybe an hour back and forth, mostly because I didn't understand how this stuff worked. So here I paste in some instance variables, and then we're going to paste in some methods, animate me and animate start, and initialize, which at the end of it calls to animate start. See? It from animate start, it calls animate me. And from animate me later, it calls animate start again, which later calls animate me. And importantly, animate me calls an O8 method. So here I need to make an O8 method. And then I'm going to make a little mistake, and I'm going to make an O0 method with all the stuff that I want to put into O8 basically. But I want to point out that all that stuff in that O0 method is line for line the same as what's in this inner loop called animate, what's in this inner block closure called animate in the class method. Let's commit the package and let's put the correct stuff in here into O8 and save. Since it was already running, it just instantly adopts that behavior. That's the power of live coding in Smalltalk. So let's modify it a little bit and just add an extra dx basically every frame. And look, it kind of bounces. And let's remove that and save it. Now it's back to the original behavior. I did some tweaking and it was a lot of fun. And I got pretty locked in with some really cool effects. So check this out. ChatGPT helped me with this a lot. It's a whole pattern, and it's going to do with certain fade-ins and other effects. Here's all the code, and as soon as I hit save it, it's going to update the behavior and start doing this pretty cool pattern. It's very colorful. It's quite nice to look at. There we go. There we go. Look at that. It's going in a pattern. It's got beautiful colors. And look, it actually is so mathematical. It's like slightly overlapping based on where it started and ends up really being quite lovely. And hypnotic. And there, that round, it overlapped a little bit from its previous. So it will eventually, possibly, fill up the whole screen. Well, let's try changing some things. Let's change this pie. Look at cut open part of the circle. And if you change the frequency factor, it makes the color cycle differently, slower or faster, which is pleasing to the eye as well. I've been just hitting Command S to save this every time I change it a little bit, but you could push the Save It button as well. Okay, now let's add DX to it. And now it goes in a very different pattern. And now switch it back. Now just add 1 to DX. That's a cool pattern too. It's less symmetric, but still really neat. And DX over 3 does that. DX over X, what does this do? Oh, now it's bouncing in a weird way. Occasionally, I made it bounce so fast that it bounces off of the canvas. And the cool, simple collision detection loses track. You just got to reset the position, which you can do live. So there you go. Amber is amazing. It's at amber-lang.net. I got up this morning feeling like it was Christmas morning because I was so excited to use this. It's really fantastic.